Taiwan is the hottest, most humid country that I have ever worked in my life. I swear for potato chips, if I have not sweated out a new Janet Jackson body by the time December gets here, I'm gonna be pissed. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Leah. If you are interested in what life looks like living and working abroad, this channel is for you. I have been working as an ESL teacher for almost 7 years now. I've taught English in various schools throughout Asia over the last 6 years. And here in Taiwan, I am actually teaching in 3 different schools throughout my work week. I notice that whenever I see people talking about education in general or on social media, they use this basic picture of schooling systems, the American schooling system. But since I've been teaching in Taiwan and really Asia in general, I've realized just how different it is. And honestly, it's been really interesting exploring the Taiwanese school system as an ESL teacher. So today, I'm going to share with you 10 unique things that I have learned since teaching in the public school systems in Taiwan. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to like this video. With that being said, let's get right to it. One of the most obvious differences to be eligible to teach in Taiwan is the credentials that are needed. In America, if you want to teach English, the credentials are really specific. You specifically need to earn a bachelor's degree. Some universities will also require you to teach at a student internship in the subject that you want to teach. And let's also not forget, teachers' licenses are required in the states, and those credentials vary from state to state. To teach English abroad, at least in Asia, most of the countries here require that you have a bachelor's degree, but your bachelor's degree can actually be in any subject. You're going to need a TOEFL certificate, you need to be from an English-speaking country, and you need a clean FBI record. And now that I'm thinking of it, you also need a negative COVID test. One thing that really shocked me, yet made me really smile. In some classes, the students that I have actually been teaching are actually required to bow and thank the teacher. It's considered a sign of respect because teachers are actually very highly regarded here. To me, it feels really, really wholesome. In America, we have janitors to clean the schools, right? Well, in Taiwan, as part of their education, schools actually incorporate other life lessons, like cleaning up after themselves. That's why, at least in my school, there is a specific time that's set aside every day for students to clean the entire campus and completely sweep and mop the schools. This includes everywhere: the teacher's lounge, the bathrooms, they scrub the toilets, they empty the trash, and they keep the campus actually really nice and clean. I'm sure that if you've seen any American movie about middle school or high school, you always see kids lined up in the cafeteria line waiting for their food. Again, that's what the American school systems are like. It's completely different here in Taiwan. Over here, lunch is brought on this wheeled serving tray to students in their respective classrooms. Students eat lunch in class. And after a long day of cleaning the school and working hard and learning, everyone needs a rest. So for that very reason, after lunch, students actually get that time to nap. They have a rest period of 12:30 to 1:20. And the best part for me is that this rest time also includes the teachers. Yes, you read that right. So when I first started teaching and I heard this information, it actually made me a little bit concerned. In all of the countries that I've taught in Asia, in both private schools and in public schools, you will realize quickly just how much of an influence the parents have on the educational system. If they think that their child is not getting a quality education, if they think their child is being picked on, if they think the teacher isn't doing their due diligence, they can actually sue the school or the teacher. The teachers that I work with, they really have this passion for what they do. But because parents are allowed to sue, the teachers still need to be really cautious about what they do in the class. Last year, some of the teachers that I partner with actually had to take workshops. This workshop was specifically behaviors and things that they can do in the class to bridge the relationship with students so that the parents won't sue. So this stress that the teachers experience on a regular basis that we may not necessarily be fully aware of is something that you should probably be mindful of when you partner with your co-teacher. You might have a really great idea for something that's going on in the class that is absolutely shot down, that has nothing to do with you, but rather thinking about the reception that the parents will give to your ideas. So it's important to not take it personally. This is how much of an influence that parents actually had. When I created my first midterm and final test, I actually received emails and requests that came from parents. You know what my email said? They gave me the questions that they wanted to see on the final to ensure that their child does well. No matter what job you're doing, balancing personal errands that need to be run during business hours can be difficult if you're at school teaching. Schools in Taiwan have actually helped to work to solve that problem. We have what is called banking hours. Every teacher gets a set amount of paid hours to be able to leave campus to go and run those errands. Banking hours are allotted monthly and you can use them as you see fit. So you can use all of your hours all at once. You can leave 15 minutes early. It is entirely up to you. In America, there is this professionalism where teachers do not interact with their students. And so the relationship is the teacher comes into the classroom, they give the lecture, and then they go home. If there's any other interaction with students outside the classroom, it's usually parent-teacher meetings or tutoring. In Taiwan, and actually in Vietnam and Korea as well, it is common for students to interact with their teachers in a social, casual manner outside of class. They ask for ways to keep in touch with you socially outside of the classroom. So it's not uncommon for students to ask for your phone number. It's not uncommon for them to ask for your Facebook page, or your Instagram page, or your email to be able to keep in contact with you. I've been invited to dinners at my students' houses. I've been invited to family reunions, high school reunions of my students' families. That's something that you should probably know before you come to teach in Asia. It's not rude or uncommon for your students to ask for this information, but it is rude for you to say no. It is essentially saying to your students, I do not want to get to know you. I would suggest that you make a separate Facebook page, a separate email address, a separate Instagram account just for your students. Taiwan is the hottest, most humid country that I have ever worked in my life. And I'm just gonna say, before you teach at a public school, you should probably know that a lot of them don't have air conditioning. I swear for potato chips, if I have not sweated out a new Janet Jackson body by the time December gets here, I'm gonna be pissed. Yes! Being black and abroad is definitely a unique experience. Do you experience racism being black and abroad? Yes. Is it anything like the shit show that's going on in America? No. But it is still racism. White skin is definitely preferred. So much so that it is actually listed in job postings. Usually this racism is not rooted in hatred. It is rooted in absolute ignorance. Usually from what they were taught from generation to generation to generation, but that information has been fed from something other than their actual experience. So they have a judgment because of what they see on the media. The stereotypes that they have adopted because no one's ever told them that they were wrong. So, what if this is your very first time stepping into a classroom and you have no idea what to do? You should watch this video.